Alright, so welcome back to Zero Cool Gaming and today's playthrough of Reckoning with commentary. And today I'm going to do a review of the video game Fable, the original Fable game. And one of the things that I found interesting about Fable in that respect is that it plays very similar to this game here. As far as the combat aspect of the game. And traversing the world is much the same as well. This one has swimming instead of fishing, but it's the same premise in that respect. The same idea behind it. Oh, this isn't where I'm supposed to be. I don't want to pick up another quest yet. I'll do those one at a time. Okay, this is where I want to be. I don't want to loot it. It wants me to steal? Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll pick up another quest. Maybe they'll give it to me later. For being such a good guy and picking up those quests. Alright. And what's down here? Oh, this will be 2 quests.
Oh, I didn't see you come in. I was reading this letter
and... but back to Fable.
I never thought it would happen.
It's a third-person game like this one, like I said. It plays much the same as this one. But it's purely for entertainment. I mean, there's nothing deep about that game, truly. It's got a very basic storyline. It's the hero's tale. Almost to the T.
I'll admit it.
So, there's that. But there's lots of things to do in that game, too. I mean, they made it pretty open to where you can do...
The people here are kind, yet suspicious.
Pretty much anything you would want to. You can buy houses, you can buy shops, you can run businesses, you can get married, find keys, open doors, open chests, go fishing, kick chickens. Plenty of chickens to go kicking. It's a game. Within the game, it's like a mini game. It's pretty funny, but I mean, there's a lot of, like this game, the sub quests is what really makes up the story of the game in that respect, or the fun parts of it. Because the side quests or sub quests are more entertaining than the main quest is. There are some interesting aspects to the main quest, sure. Absolutely. Some twists and turns and, you know, things happen. But,
I do what I must.
For the most part, the side quests are what really pull you through the game. Because you want to kind of do this and do that and see what this does and see what that does. And what's going on with this problem.
Take their daggers and bring them to Red Edward. He will demand proof. Take mine.
It was just well written, is a way of putting it. So is this one. It's well written as well. I can see why they went bankrupt making this.
It is a sacrament.
And I don't say that to be mean. It's just
surrender your life or the lives
I can see why they went bankrupt making it. Because they put a lot into this.
Ugnar could always be found by Red's side, Red's right hand. But beneath his brutal exterior, Ugnar was a good man.
Very ambitious game. One of the things that I did notice about not just this game, but Fable as well, is that they both suffer from the same problem as you get into the later game. And that's very few side quests. And I call that a problem because the beginning of the game is rich in side quests, and the same thing with Fable. The beginning of the game is rich in side quests all over the place. But as the game goes on, that becomes less and less and less. And with games like this, and games like that, I really wish that they would have continued the abundance of side quests all the way through it. But, you know, that makes the games even more expensive. And I kind of get that, don't get me wrong. I don't know how hard, I should say, I don't know how hard it is to program in whatever engine this is that they use. Because I think they probably use the same engine for both games. There's a lot of similarities between this one and as far as graphically as well. Besides just the way it plays, as far as graphically, there's a lot of similarities between the two. This one obviously has an upgraded engine in that respect as far as what it could generate, or it had better programmers, but very similar in what they program and how it, you know, how things interact with each other within the world itself. If I was to guess, I would say this is probably an upgraded version of the same engine. That's what it feels like. Not to say that this is a better game, because no, I wouldn't say it's a better game. Even though there's a lot more to it, that also means that a lot of the side quests aren't as well crafted as Fable was. And that's a problem in and of itself as well. Okay. Yeah, let's do this one first. We're going to go collect daggers from people, apparently. Good guys, bad guys, who knows?
Make it quick. I've got work to do. Can't pay my debts.
But yeah, like I was saying, Fable's a pretty good game. It really is. It's not very long. It's not like this one. Fable's probably like 20-30 hours if you were to play through it. Maybe less. I mean, if you just stayed on the main quest, you could probably do it in 10-15. If I was to guess. Probably 15.
If there was ever a reason to believe that Fae and mortals cannot live together, it is this strange and brutal war. The Alpha fight without any true knowledge of the enemy they face. I've seen this kind of conflict.
Or this game, if you sit here and go through it, I mean, there's hundreds of hours in this game, I'm guessing. But I think there is. Because the last time I played through it, it took me forever. Truly. And it's because I was doing what I'm doing now. I would listen to everything they had to say. I would go through and, you know, try to find all the different quests and, you know, complete each one and bring the stuff back and go do the next one and so on and so forth. As you can see, this is just the first small town, and it's just quest after quest after quest after quest. And yeah, this seriously dies down as the game goes on. Like I said, Fable suffers from the same thing.
What do you know of the Red Legion? Whatever it is, forget it. You'll be safer, wiser, and better off in the end. Ignorance.
But the way Fable was designed, truly, the way the side missions and story are designed, it gets you to interact with all of its
you should speak with them if you haven't already. They are a sorry lot.
you know, like its crafting and blacksmithing
and disappear into the woods, or worse.
and, you know, eating,
My past is a murky place.
purchasing, selling. It gets you to interact with all of its, you know, different side elements that are in the game. Even though it doesn't ask you to do a lot with any of them, you at least get some interaction and know how to do it. Because the game, it doesn't force you, but it gets you to do it if you want to complete the side quest. And to me, that's a good way of doing it. And then if you want to do more, you can do that on your own. Like with this game, there's lots of parts of like the crafting and blacksmithing and building your own stuff. All the way up to about 3/4 of the game is kind of a good idea. And I think at the end game, you're better off just buying better stuff than trying to craft it. I believe that's how that worked out. I could be wrong, but I believe that's how it worked out in this game.
But hiring a sword to do his bloody work is disgraceful. If you want to collect my dagger, you'll have to fight me for it. Steel for steel.
So, the other day I was talking about, you know,
Edward knows where I am. When he shows up, the only thing to keep me from death is still having this knife. This is no longer a game. I'm fighting for my very survival.
No, are we going to have to fight?
Very well.
No.
Well, I'm not interested in discussing Red Edward or this foolish blood right. This is folly, you know that.
So I'm gonna have to see if I can get the other one. I was talking about tactics and what kind of basically hardcore tactics I see going on in this confrontation that the world is essentially engaging in. I wanted to kind of also discuss the remedy in that respect to this problem and how it could be ended literally today. No one's going to do that, don't get me wrong. I'm not stupid. But yes, it could be ended literally today if they simply chose to do so. Wow. That hurt. And I know that they won't, don't get me wrong. So this is like fantasy world. In fantasy world, if they actually wanted to end this conflict, I guess first to understand this answer, you need to understand what's going on as far as I can tell. And I may be wrong, don't get me wrong. But as far as I can tell, the reason that Russia wants that land is for agriculture. And they want that agriculture for their people. Okay, I get that. I do. Totally. Huh, very odd. So they want the agriculture for their people. They want to grow food and then provide that to the people of Russia. Okay. There were better ways that they could have done that than what they chose to do by invading Ukraine and taking that land by force. I'm willing to bet that had they told the world that they needed, you know, such and such amount of food to solve their problem, that they would have gotten a I'm not going to say better response. Well, yeah. They would have gotten a better response in the short term, and then that we could have worked on solving this problem for the long term. And, you know, that's going to require Russia to do something that it probably doesn't want to do, but make regulations in much the same vein that China did to lower their population so that they can produce enough food to feed their people. I mean, that's not what Russia wanted to do, obviously, but that was an option that they could have chosen. And they didn't want to take that option, obviously. So they decided to do what they're doing now, which is, you know, invade Ukraine, take the land by force, and then grow food on it for their people. Okay. They're sending a force of 300,000 people there to subdue those lands. That's a nice way of putting it. Well, again, taking a cold hard look at this and being cold-hearted in the response as a way to end this before it gets to nuclear escalation. The simplest way to end this conflict would be to deny Russia those lands. And you might be wondering what I mean by that. And I don't mean you need to fight for them, because you don't. There is another option that is much more drastic and will definitely send a message. And that is firebombing all of it. Just scorched earth. It is a tactic that Russia themselves have used in several wars throughout their history as a way of starving out their invaders before they get to Moscow. It is a tactic that has worked every time that it was used. So, truly, if you want to end this war today, that's what you would do. You would sit there and
if you want that Red Legion dagger, you will have to pry it from my stiff fingers.
scorch earth.
Very well, but I'm not interested in discussing Red Inwood or this foolish blood right. Wise up, my friend.
All the lands, the agricultural lands of of Ukraine. Now, if you firebomb all those lands and carpet bomb it like that, they'll be unusable for a couple of years. So, is there a possibility that Russia will still go in there and take those lands? Yes. Do I think that he would use nukes to create a DMZ zone at that point? No. Because who's going to fight for scorched lands? Nobody. And that's kind of where that'll end and fizzle out. And the best way to get it through his thick skull that he's not going to be able to ever use those lands, regardless of the fact if he tries to keep them, is to simply go back every couple of years and carpet bomb, fire bomb those lands again, so that they're unusable for a couple more years. And eventually, he will realize that it is too expensive without any return to maintain his occupation of those lands. Of course, that's just my understandings, but that's kind of how I see that. Oh, so where is that other one now? I don't see. Back up there. Okay. Anyway, that's kind of my idea of how you would end this war. Now, no one is going to suggest doing stuff like this. I know that. They don't want to end this war. That's like the last thing on their mind. I wish that wasn't the truth, but I know it is. So I kind of just have to deal with that. It's not something I like, it's not something that I wish would happen, but it is definitely something you gotta deal with.
How might I assist you, young one? Feyland? Yes, I've heard these words before, but do not understand their meaning. There are only Fey, and there is only land. I do find all mean sentiments so charming. Farewell.
Wow. Okay, I did not read that properly. Oh, find a greater healing potion. Where the heck am I supposed to find that? Irritating, 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 irritating. Just find it. Like that's something I can just do. I think we can buy one is what it's getting at. I'm starting to remember that a little bit. I guess you do kind of have to pay attention to what these quests say. Some of them actually want you to do stuff. Find a greater healing potion. That is so hilarious. Okay, that's... I don't know how I'm supposed to find a greater healing potion. Let me see if this lady can... Another hidden object. Okay. Maybe she said she needed time to make it. I don't remember. I really don't know.
What do you want?
You're welcome in my shop anytime, and please enjoy a discount on all services and merchandise.
Well, that's nice. Let's see if she has a greater healing potion. Yes, she does. And just the one. Who would have guessed? Okay.
Farewell.
Won't just give me one for helping her, you know, stop the plague. You gotta buy it from her. But she gives it to you at a discount, so it's okay. I should really check out what else she has to sell. I don't think it's much of anything. I think it's just different potions. But I'll check it out to make sure. I'm gonna be coming back and forth to this place repeatedly. Now, I think that this is saying that he is inside. I think that's what that's trying to tell me. And this is on the PS4, so I know that there were loading on the PC as well, but it was nowhere near this slow. And this is a pretty old game.
It's busy today.
I'm not going to say it's super old, but it's a pretty old game. I guess I'm supposed to go upstairs to find this person. Or maybe downstairs.
What is it?
Ah, this person.
You made it. Just in time, too. Give me the potion. It will help, but it's not enough. Someone must go to the Fae and explain what happened here. One small misunderstanding and we'll no longer just be strangers to the Fae. We'll be enemies. I'm not sure yet, but this is bad. She's Fae.
Letting the game
She's a knight in the House of
distract
Balance.
me again.
Fae don't kill their own.
So,
Must have been someone in Gorehart. If the House of Ballads learns
I guess I'm
this,
gonna say that
the
this
king will
is
burn
my
Gorehart
rant for the
to
day,
ground. They see all
and I
mortals
hope
as
you enjoy the
invaders.
rest of yours.
We could go to the War Sworn and get an oath of protection, but that would require payment. We mustn't cover this up. But who do we tell? You're turning out to be very helpful, my friend. You have my gratitude. I'll see to it that you're honored. Rumor says that the House of Ballads has its headquarters not far from here, in Glendara to the northeast. Try to gain entrance if you can. It's east of here, in the meadows of Yolvan. The Feylands are a wicked place, crawling with creatures so strange you'll assume you're dreaming. Farewell.